Hello all, I am Dr. Vibhash Vaidya, and today in this video we're going to discuss about the general anatomy of muscle lecture 2. So in the general anatomy of muscle lecture 1 we have already discussed the introduction of muscles, the types of muscles, myoepithelial cells and the gross organization of the skeletal muscles. Friend, if you haven't watched the previous muscle 1 lecture, so first watch the previous video. So now we'll come to the point. So as we have already discussed, muscles is subdivided into three types: the skeletal muscles, cardiac muscles and the smooth muscles. The skeletal muscles is voluntary and rest up to the cardiac and smooth muscles are involuntary. The skeletal muscle which is found in the skeleton system and cardiac muscle found in the wall of the heart and the smooth muscle which is present in the wall of the viscera. First we'll discuss about the types of the skeletal muscle fiber. So skeletal muscle fiber is two types. First is type 1 fiber and type 2 fibers. Type 1 fibers are slow to state or red fibers, while the type 2 fibers are fast to state or white fibers. So the type 1 fibers are red in color due to presence of myohemoglobin, and type 1 fiber are thin fiber rich in mitochondria and oxidative enzyme but poor in phosphorylase and glycogen. Functionally, the type 1 fibers contract slowly and these fiber contracts remain more sustained. The type 1 fibers suitable for maintaining posture like brachialis and soleus muscles. Now type 2 fibers, as we have already discussed, these fibers are fast to state or white fibers. The type 2 fibers are paler and thicker than the slow fibers. The type 2 fiber have few mitochondria and less oxidative enzyme but rich in glycogen and phosphorylase. Functionally, the type 2 fibers contract quickly but their contraction remain less sustained. Examples are bicep brachii and gastrocnemius. Now the parts of the skeletal muscles. So you can appreciate here, this is a schematic diagram of the skeletal muscles, and this skeletal muscles is consist of two parts, fleshy part and the fibrous part. And this fleshy part stretch between 2 points of the fibrous. You can also appreciate two terms over here. One is the origin, another is a insertion. So what is origin? So origin is a point which is attached to the proximal to the joint. Here you can appreciate this is a joint, and proximal to the joint, this point is called the origin. And on the other word, the origin is a point from where the muscle fiber being start. And what is insertion? So as you can see over here, the insertion is a point which is, or insertion is a point which attach distal to the joint. Here you can see this is a joint and this is a distal to the joint. This point is called the insertion. And other word, the insertion is a point where the muscle fiber is terminate or end. So this is the origin and the insertion. Now this origin, the fiber of the origin, maybe it is fleshy or it may be tendinous. What the fiber of the insertion, it always is fibrous, or if it is present in cord like, so this insertion fiber is called the tendon, and if it is present in membrane like, so fiber of the insertion is called the aponeurosis. So what is tendon? So tendon is a fibrous fiber which is cord like. And what is aponeurosis? Aponeurosis is a fibrous fiber which is membrane like. So this is the membrane like are the aponeurosis, and cord like is tendon. Now we'll discuss about the fascicular architecture of muscles. For exam point of view, this fascicular architecture of muscles is very important. For arrangement of muscle fiber which varies according to direction, force, range of movement at particular joint. The range of movement is directly proportional to the length of the fibers, and the force of contraction is directly proportional to the number of size of muscle fiber. So the muscles are classified according to arrangement of their fasciculi into parallel, pinnate muscles, spiral muscle, and cruciate muscles. So as first we'll discuss about the parallel muscles. So as the name indicate, the fibers or fasciculars of the muscles which is arranged in parallelly toward the force of the direction. The fibers of the parallel muscles are few, and the fiber of the parallel muscles which is parallel to the line of pull. So here you can appreciate here the four type of the parallel muscles. First, the quadrilateral muscles over here. You can appreciate here, this is the quadrilateral muscles, diagram of the quadrilateral muscles, and you can also appreciate here the width and length of the quadrilateral muscles is more or less same, and the fibers are parallel to each other toward the line of force here. Then the example of the quadrilateral muscles are quadratus lumborum and thyrohyoid muscles. Then the second is strap muscles. So here you can see it is strap like, and this strap muscles, the length of the muscle fiber are more and width are less. You can appreciate here length is more and fibers runs parallel to the each other toward the line of force. And the example of the strap muscle is sartorius muscles. Then the strap like with tendinous intersection. You can appreciate here it is almost strap like muscles, but it is subdivided by this tendinous intersection in between this and this tendinous intersection, which divide this strap like muscle into bundles, numbers of bundles. As we compare with the strap and strap like with tendinous intersections, the length of the both the muscles are more or less same. The fibers are parallelly running toward the force of toward the line of force, but this muscle is subdivided or intersecting by these tendons. Now fusiform muscles. So this is a fourth type of the parallel muscles. You can appreciate over here fibers are parallelly running toward the line of force, and you can appreciate here the fleshy part of the fusiform muscles is bulky, and the end part you can appreciate here, these are the ends are taper. Now the pinnate muscles. So in the pinnate muscles, the fleshy fibers are oblique to the line of pull. You can appreciate in this diagram here this is a fleshy fiber which is run obliquely toward the line of pull, while in the parallel muscles the fleshy fibers running parallelly toward the line of pull, and this pinnate muscles are attached obliquely to the tendons of insertion. Over here you can see this is a tendons and oblique, this pinnate muscle fiber which is attached obliquely. The fibers of the pinnate muscles are short and numbers of muscle fiber is more. Here you can appreciate the fiber of the muscles are short and number of the fibers are more, while in case of the parallel muscles the length of the fibers are more and number of the fibers are less. Pinnate muscles fiber are short, that's why the force of contraction is increased and the range of movement is reduced, while in case of the parallel muscles the force of the contraction is decreased and range of movement is increased. Now this pinnate muscles is further divided into four categories: the unipinnate, bipinnate, multipinnate and circumpinate according to their fleshy fiber. First you can appreciate this is a schematic diagram of the unipinnate, and you can also appreciate the fibers are sloped into one side of the tendon which is formed along on the margin of the muscles. Here you can appreciate this is the tendons and fibers only slow one side of the tendons. This unipinnate muscles which gives the appearance of half of the feather. You can appreciate it is appear half of the feather. The example of the unipinnate is flexor pollicis longus, extensor digitorum longus and peroneus tertius muscle. Then second diagram you can appreciate here, this is a bipinnate muscles. And here you can appreciate this is a tendon of the bipinnate muscle which indicate or form the central axis of muscles, and from both the side the muscle fibers slope from the central tendon. You can appreciate here on the both the side the fleshy fiber slope from this central tendon, and this bipinnate muscles give the appearance of whole feathers. You can appreciate it give appearance of whole feather, while the unipinnate give the appearance only half feather. Then the example of the bipinnate are the tibialis posterior muscles, rectus femoris muscles. Then third type of pinnate muscles is multipinnate because it has multiple feather. Here you can appreciate is in this schematic diagram it has multiple feather. And this multipinnate muscles are series of tendinous band within the muscle with the tendinous intersection. You can appreciate over here this multipinnate muscles have multiple feather, and in between this feather you can appreciate it has a multiple tendons here. The muscular fasciculi are arranged between these tendinous intersections. You can appreciate here this is the tendons, and on the both side or in between these tendons these are the muscle fibers or muscular fasciculi which arrange, and it gives appearance in multiple feather. The example of multipinnate muscles is the acromial fiber of the deltoid muscles. Now the circumpinate muscles. So as the name indicate, the fleshy muscle fibers are circular, and you can appreciate the muscles is cylindrical with the central tendon. So here you can see within the muscle fiber this is the tendons, and you can also appreciate the oblique muscle fiber converge into the central tendon from all sides. Here these are the oblique muscle fiber which converge of this central tendon from the outside, and it give appearance like circular feathers. The circumpinate muscles range of movement is diminished due to the shortness of muscle fiber, oblique direction of pull. Now in totally the force of contraction is increased due to the greater number of muscle fiber. So this circumpinate muscle fiber gives the greater force or greater contraction. So example of the circumpinate muscles is tibialis anterior muscles. Now the spiral muscles. So as the name indicate, the muscle fiber are twisted or spirally twisted. So here you can see the muscle fiber in twisted in arrangement close to their insertion. The example of the spiral muscles is supinator of the spiral course impart the rotational movement to the radius. So this is an example of the spiral muscles, supinator muscles. Now the cruciate muscles. So here you can see as the name indicate, the cruciate muscles are cross-like. So you can appreciate here muscles fiber are cross-like, and this muscle fiber are arranged in superficial and deep planes. So this is the superficial plane, and just beneath to the superficial plane this is the deep planes. Now the example of the cruciate muscles is masseter and the sternocleidomastoid muscles. So this is about the fascicular architecture of muscles. So today we have covered the types of the skeletal muscle fiber, the parts of the skeletal muscles, and the fascicular architecture of muscles. So I hope all of you understood the topic. Thank you for watching.